Turbo Trading with head trader Robert Knight, MBA. Day trading with moving averages, explained.
This is an analysis of trading stocks intraday, so day trading, using trend lines and augmented with moving averages. Now on my chart here, you'll see this is AGRI, which was a great trade for us this morning. Now in a downtrending channel, but you can see that on here, I had other lines going on here, but I took them off just before I did this, so I'll put them back in here, trend lines. And, excuse me. So the moving averages that I have on here are, the light blue is a 6 period, the dark blue is a 15 period moving average, the light green is a 34 period moving average, and the dark green is the 50 period moving average. So what that does is the blue lines give you now these are EMAs, so exponential moving averages versus simple moving averages. The only difference is with an EMA versus a simple is that they react a little quicker than a simple moving average. So that's, I just prefer to use it because it is a lagging indicator. Moving averages are a lagging indicator. Now, so the blue lines give you a good range. If it's above this 5 period moving one, I wouldn't be looking to buy that stock. But if it pulls back, if it's in a trend and it pulls back to the 15 period one, and I'm looking to buy that stock, that's where I would look to enter it. The green ones here, if it trades, this is more for when you want to get out of a trade. If it's trading in this range between the two green lines, you're okay with that. You don't, but as soon as it starts to break down below it, then that's a pretty good signal that you want to get out of it. The other thing about EMAs is that when they cross, the longer period crosses the shorter period. You can see here, in this case, the crossing would be the 15 and the 50. I don't worry about the 5 and the 34 for crossing, but you can see here it didn't quite cross. So when they cross, that's usually a sell signal, but that's a lagging indicator to sell. If that had a cross here and this is going down, you would already be a bit behind the 8 ball on that. We see now that this is starting to sell off. These are turning over. It's below this 50 period moving average. It got to the top of a channel here. You can see that it, here and here drew the lines. The parallel line to that is here and here. Got to the top of that, failed. It also failed at the lateral resistance here around 475. And it has backed off the channel line. So the EMAs, what they're really doing, the moving averages, what they're really doing is showing me direction. The chart lines, the trend lines is what I trade with mostly. In this channel, I'd be looking to, it fails there, I'd be looking to sell, or this lateral resistance failed there, so I'd be looking to sell. What the trend lines do, or not the trend lines, but the moving averages do, is they give me a good idea of what the direction of the stock is doing. I mean, as do the channel lines, but this is an easy representation to say this is a strong rising channel moving up here. Originally, it was like this. And that it sort of corresponds with the 30 or the 50. They're not quite going up as sharp as the trend line. So it's a really good representation on which the direction is. And we can see here, it's starting to flatten out. So that's really showing that this thing is maybe topping out, or it needs a breather. It's going to take a breather here. We'll see if it can hold this 50 period moving average. The 50 period is a pretty strong support level for stocks. If you're looking at a daily chart, and the 50 period is a main is a key moving average. So in the intraday, we see that this is starting to flatten out and roll over. Maybe if the 15 crosses through the 15 or the 50, then we're going to see this trade back down to the bottom of the channel here at 375. And so I'd be looking, okay, where's support? Here's your support. 3, just under 4 here at 375, which coincides with VWAP, the bottom of the channel line, and lateral support. So you have quite a few levels of support at this 375 level. Trades below that, you'd want to get out. So now we see that the 15 period is not traded down through the 50, and it's trading in here sideways. We'll see what happens when it gets to the top of this. But if this starts to turn up, I mean, the moving averages will just give you an indication of where it goes. So just to recap that, the 5 and the 15, if it's trading much above the 5, I'm not looking to buy the stock. If it's trading down to the 15, it's in a rising channel, those would be areas that I'd look to buy the stock, potentially in there. So we see that it here, in this case, it wedged and bounced right off the 15. Off the 15 here, it came basically a bit down through it, but held the 34. And you can see that the 15 provided us with good support all the way up. But here we can see now this is your resistance. It traded up against the 15 and fails. It has gone back up through it when the 15 never crossed the 50. So the 5, much above it, I'm not buying it. 15, I'm looking, that could be an entry level. 34 and 50, that's a trading range. You can, if it trades much, but if it starts trading much below the 50, then you probably want to get out of the trade, or at least have a very good look at it where it is in relative to other indicators that you might have. In this case, the trend line resort and the support resistant areas. If anybody has any questions on those, just feel free to ask, and I'll try to explain it.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Reach new levels of trading proficiency. Become a member at turbotrading.biz.